Okay, thanks for joining us today. We're going to be going over the Loan Post software system, and some key features that we're going to cover are lead management, how you and your sales reps can manage all their leads through the software, how to set up the application to work with as a multi-level affiliate structure, how to integrate the built-in web forms and tie them into your websites. If you don't have a website, we have templates that we can help set up. We're also going to show you how the built-in REST report integration works, basically giving you automated decisioning, covering the latest HAMP Tier 1 and 2 guidelines and NPV 5.0 analytics, as well as several internal mod programs and the DOJ mod program as well. And basically this tool is going to tell you and your client with certainty whether or not they qualify, and if they don't qualify, it tells you why they don't qualify, so it lets you restructure the loan mod package before you submit anything. Moving forward, we have document automation with e-signature. This helps you generate your retainer packages and have them e-signed, as well as all the industry forms and the bank packages as well. You don't need to manually fill anything out anymore with a software system like this. You can customize your pipeline to reflect, all the different stages of the files that you work with, the way you want to label them, so you can customize that. We'll go over that in detail. Also workflows, make sure nothing falls through the cracks. You want to make sure every file gets touched the same way. We can set that up for you as well. Understanding how the assigned file pipeline works. This is helpful for all your negotiators and processors to know what files are belonged to them. And we'll also show you how the online status portal works, where clients, affiliates, and all your staff can log in right through your website, so it all looks like it's part of your own internal software system. The shared calendar as well is helpful to keep everybody on point in collaboration, and being able to assign tasks and reminders to each other is also important, and we'll show you how that comes into play, and it also alerts you if there's any sale dates. So without further ado, let's get going and looking at the software system. Okay, here's the dashboard. The dashboard gives you quick links to all the key areas of the site, and from a managerial login, like we're logged in here, you can see a general overview of everything, like billing and all the tasks and reminders throughout the whole company, all your main files, see all your users that you have access to, that has access to the system, your main legal contract that you use to auto-generate for your retainer packages and whatnot, and then you also have system help. Also, file velocity shows you, the average time it takes a file to move from one stage to the next. And the main areas right here is your pipeline. This is where you're going to be living and breathing every day. And I have the pipeline open right here. Let's quickly go through, starting from the top. These tabs represent the file stage or phase that it's in. Every file starts out typically as a lead. It's a new case. It gets approved in review, pending quality control, when they submit the docs, and we make sure all the financials line up with what was entered in the system. Processing gets a hold of it. In bank, negotiators are working on it while it's in bank, and it gets closed out. Additionally, you can create other tabs in here as well for different departments. I created foreclosure defense, litigation, bankruptcy. You can have one for short sale as well. All the different things that you guys are offering, you can put those there. There's other areas as well that you can, track and mark a file for the different services that you may offer, but that's just one idea or concept that you can put in your pipeline. Again, to repeat, this is all customizable through the company settings. Right here, I just quickly went to there. You see primary file status. I would click on here to edit, and I could change that to whatever I want and change the display order. And then also, granularly speaking, I can change the settings on each user role, whether or not they can edit the file in that particular stage. So if a file's in negotiation or in bank, I don't want the branch to touch it. I don't want the sales agent to touch it. I definitely don't want the clients to touch it, but only my back office should be allowed to touch it. So that's the kind of settings that you have access to on the back end of the system. All right, going back to the pipeline, here it just shows you when the file was entered, what was the last action, the date right here. Months past due, that's obvious. Sale date, if it exists, it would show up right here. This is just the status, it's in bank. If you want to change the status, you click on those arrows, and you can change the status to whatever you want. Sub-statuses are very helpful in flagging or tagging a file and for different purposes. So you can have unlimited tags or substatuses on every file. And I'll just quickly go through these, see if anything strikes a chord with you. Listed for a lot of listing stuff for short sale is very important. Deed in lieu, appraisal ordered, BK filed, pending refund, case closed. You can add or remove as many of these as you want. And the purpose of all that is to create reports. So if I click on advanced search, I can drop down and select, all right, I want all clients that have the following substatuses selected. So it's very helpful. Moving forward, we're going along here. We have the property, the borrower's name and the property address, phone number, who the servicer is, agent and branch. This is very important to understand. This is the multi-level affiliate structure that we were discussing earlier. Every file belongs to an agent and to a branch, no matter how big or small your organization is. So for the smaller companies that don't have a bunch of outside affiliates or branches, you still have to have your main corporate branch and at least one agent that you tie your files to. For the bigger guys that are out there, the way I can verbally explain this is you have the back office account. Underneath the back office, they can have multiple branches. So here's a list of all my branches, okay? Rosen and Miller is a law office that is an affiliate of ours. Foreclosure defense firm is another one. DIY division of our company is another one. You can have unlimited branches, and underneath each branch, you're going to have agents or sales reps or intake reps. You can have unlimited agents as well. And that's how you kind of segregate and scale out your system as well to make it more multi-level affiliate structured. The next icon we're going to look at is how to open the file. It opens up the file, and now you have the very detailed tabs on the client's information. We'll go into that in a little bit more detail in another video. This is I just view the file in read-only mode. This is important, the notes. This is where everybody's making all their updates to a file. When you click on it, it lets you make a general note, a client note, or a lender note. I can mark it as private or public. I can mark this as a billable note. So if I want to make an update on tracking billable hours, I can put that there. I can notify the branch, the agent, employees. The borrower is missing right here because their email is not entered in the file, but I could notify the borrower if I wanted to. And any other third party, I can just enter in the email, make a semicolon, and all those other people will get notified as well. And then here's a running log of all the updates that we've been making. It tells you who the user was, the day and the time zone when the note was made. When the email goes out, it's important that you know what that looks like. And you can see this is a sample of what the email, do not reply to this email, and it just shows everybody assigned to the file. The client, the file number, agent, branch, who the case manager is, the processor, their phone number, their email, and all the notes. So that's really important to have a nice formatted template that goes out that the party who receives it can see the whole log of what was going on. Now the private notes will not be seen by the homeowners. However, if the agent permission setting is disabled for seeing private notes, then they won't be able to see the notes. And that's as simple as turning an on-off switch. Allowed to see private notes. Yes or no? Alright, moving forward, you can upload documents here. You can upload up to 5 different documents, 80 megabytes in size. It's very, very generous. Not many systems let you upload such high amount of file size. And it works for all these different types of files. PDF, Word doc, Excel, JPEG, even MP3s for recordings and whatnot, and zip files. Alright, now we have tasks. This shows you all the tasks that are pending on the file. You can also create a quick task or reminder. That's really important that you get in the habit of doing that because everybody has access to the tasks via their own calendar. Reminders are sent out. Even text messages are sent out as a reminder. If you want to send out login access to the homeowner, you could click on this link and it sends them a link to let them in their file. Only works with private label purchase. It's an extra fee, but you have that option. Here you can schedule emails for this person. You can set up different autoresponders and multiple email campaigns. This account doesn't have any emails set up, but that's how this is the area that you would do it. Quick app, that's just doing a little, if you want to do a quick app on the customer's file. Summary report is a PDF version of what you send out via email. It just tracks all the notes, all the tasks, everything that you ever did on a file. It shows up in that PDF report. The history is really good too, because in the history here, this is not a good example, but you'll see all the changes that were made in the primary status, the substatus, the workflow, email history. Basically everything that you do on the file, it records it and categorizes it so you can see a running log of what was done and when it was done and how much work was put into a file. Alright, the next one is the billing. This just shows you what money is owed, what money's been paid. Right here you can click to update the workflow. This is where you have your different workflows. You can edit these workflows. Like I have a short sale workflow here, or you have a new loan mod workflow. You can have different workflows going on, and checklists here let you mark off what was received or what is still missing. And every time you mark something off, it tells you who marked it off and at what time they marked it off. Okay. Right here is how you assign a file. So if I want to assign this to another processor, Jane Smith, and I can just save, and then that makes this file linked to Jane Smith. So when Jane Smith logs in and she opens up her pipeline and she goes to My Assigned Files, that pipeline will only show the files that we gave her. And then in her settings, if I turn off Allowed to See All Files, right, so let me show you that permission, Allowed to View All Files, if that's marked as no, well, she won't be able to see the main pipeline with all the files. She'll only be able to see the ones that we gave to her, the signed ones. So that's really important. Different types of businesses work different ways, so that's really helpful. You can also assign different agents or branches. If you're moving a file from one division to another or reallocating leads, you can do it in bulk as well. So I could do a nice search query. I want all Florida deals that are under this status, substatus, and then it gives me, let's say, 100 results. I can click Select All right here, click on the broom icon, which is kind of like a way to sweep or mass update, and then I would say, alright, I want to update the status, or I want to assign employees or assign the agent, etc., etc. I can reassign all this stuff. So a lot of things you can do in bulk, which is really important. The next one is basically if you want to submit this file to REST to see if it's qualified for a HAMP or half a deal. We'll go into that. It's a whole other video presentation for that. But in short, we just covered the whole pipeline. Lastly, in closing, the advanced search area. This is where you can really segment and create a detailed report and export it into Excel. Just to show you, I can break down all files that belong to a particular branch, to a particular agent, assigned to a particular employee, that is tied to a particular lender, that owes money this week or is past due. Who's past due on their billing? What about files that have never been touched in 30 days? What about, I want to sort by all the files that we've updated last by general notes or client notes or lender notes. Priority. I can activate or deactivate files. I can search those lists right there. I can change my view to show 100 records per page. I can just sort only files in a certain status. The created date, I can create a nice time range of files that were created within last month. Lead source, or if I just want to type in a keyword search and search by a person's address or name or phone number, I can do that. Property state, which files I have in particular states. Different services that I offer. Again, this system is used by so many different types of companies. Credit repair, credit card modification, developer mitigation, foreclosure defense, half a short sale, basic loss mitigation services, mediation, counseling agencies. I mean, the list goes on of all the things that you can do in here. And these are different ways that, alright, I want to see all my files that are loan mod related, or short sale related, or credit repair related. That's how I would generate that report. And of course, these are my sub-statuses. So I can actually search any cross variation of the things I just showed you and create an Excel report based off that. So again, very, very robust file management and pipeline management through our system. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is when you open the file, you click on this icon, it takes you into the client file. I'll just quickly go through these things. So the client info tab right here is opened, and I have access to enter in all the client's information, including which services are requested, right? So here's how you can tag the file for different services that you're going to do in the file. Because short sale and loan mod are both on, I have short sale related tabs open. If they're not selected, then they go away. Just FYI. And down here you have the mortgage scenario for the first and second lien. Nice little note box here to enter in any additional notes that we didn't have fields for. Okay. Property info is very more detailed. Property description, appraisal information, HOA information, title information, any additional liens. And if you want to generate a schedule of real estate, you can do that as well. Okay. Income expense. This also comes into play. Now, if there was a co-borrower, this section right here would be filled out. But you can enter in, on an itemized level, every type of income that they have and every type of expense that they have. And it automatically calculates total net income minus their total household expenses, gives you their disposable income, and also calculates what their current DTI is. And here's just areas to enter in some asset information. Here you have creditors. You enter in any creditor information, if they're in collections, if they're open, if they're past due or delinquent. That's helpful for doing like debt settlement type stuff. On the hardship area, we also have all the major hardships. They're already pre-written. You can customize any one that you want whenever you need to. Q&A. This is great because when you're doing an intake on a file, you want to make sure that you ask all the right questions. And our qualification form here is smart, meaning that it knows if you answer yes, did you receive notice of foreclosure, then it's going to want to ask, all right, well, did you get a sale date yet? Did you get the notice of summons? Who's the attorney or trustee involved? Do you want to create a reminder on that sale date if it exists? It really guides you to do things properly, keeping you more on point and more efficient through your whole file life cycle. Again, all these questions are smart. So, is the home currently listed for sale? If that's no, you don't need to answer all these other questions. So I'll just go slow so you can kind of look at your own leisure here. What are the questions that we have? These are all questions that the bank are usually going to ask anyway, so it's nice to get this stuff out of the way up front, and it also makes you guys look more professional when you're doing a full file intake and pre-qualifying somebody, over the phone or in person. The rest tab here, this lets you submit a file to get reviewed for the HAMP Tier 1 and Tier 2 guidelines using the NPV analytics. So it does the waterfall automatically, and it scrubs it against the NPV to see if it's NPV positive or not. If it fails, it tells you where it failed and what you need to fix, which is really important. Here's another quick light version of what the rest report does. It's just basically a waterfall. It kind of gives you some other cost of foreclosure analysis numbers to kind of see what it would cost the bank if they did foreclose. Okay. Contacts tab lets you store all your contacts. You can edit these whenever you need to. Every file has a lot of different contacts involved, and it's important to know who they are and have access to that information really quickly. The short sale tab, again, stores a lot of information that you would need to process the short sale, like listing information, buyer information. Sometimes you have up to 3 different buyers for backup offers, CMA analysis. You can update your listing history and your sales history. Short sale proposal is like the loan mod proposal one, except this one is more friendly towards the short sale, and it helps you do a short sale offer. It auto calculates that for you, and it gives you the net investor benefit by accepting the short sale. So it kind of paints the picture like, hey, it's actually a good idea, Mr. Bank, if you accept our offer, because it actually is, it's a positive value versus you going into foreclosure and dealing with this on your own as an REO. Because there's some savings of time and money by doing the short sale that you need to break down those numbers for them to see the light, So, all right, moving forward, you can generate a preliminary HUD. So I'm on the HUD tab here. Docs. This is a very important one because now you can generate all your important documents. You can upload important documents as well, so it's all centralized. Like these are all my uploaded documents. It tells me who uploaded them, when they uploaded them, and I can name them. I can also use our binder tool and kind of merge documents and PDFs into one, so that, and I can reorganize it so it's reordered. That's really important. It also watermarks everything. I can, use the self-made document wizard. That's something I didn't show you guys. There's basically a WYSIWYG editor. Let me go to it real quick so you can see what it looks like. So on the fly, let me open up one that I already built. Let's say power of attorney. I basically use these dynamic tags that are located over here, and it knows to create this dynamic document all on the fly. And you can just copy and paste from Word, put it in here, and just put your tags in there, and you're good to go. Going back to our documents here, we have auto-generated documents. This is our default library of documents. So if you notice, they're categorized by loan mod, short sale, general ones, and lender packages. And you can also remove these, the ones that you don't want. Maybe you don't do short sales, maybe you don't do loan mods. You can remove those in your settings, and they're tied to the branch. So that means you could have a short sale branch or a loan mod branch, and these documents will only exist for those required branches. Okay? And you click on any one of these and it generates the document already pre-filled. If you click on them, the ones with the little pen signal mean that they're e-signable. And you email them out, and you'll notice that the email goes out and it can all be e-signed. All through the browser. So it's very user-friendly. It's all compliant. It works great for your retainer agreement. So like you can have a retainer agreement that you want to have e-signed, while the customer's on the phone with you. That's an option. You don't need to wait 5 days for an agreement to come back via fax or mail or whatnot. Okay? So that's our document tab. Here's our task tab. This shows you like a running log of all the tasks that have been completed, that are not started, that are pending or in progress, regardless if they're tasks that belong to you or not. So that's really important to see what's going on in that from a managerial standpoint. We covered this already, checklist, workflow, kind of help you keep track of what things were done and are they done in the right order. The admin tab over here, this lets you put like a file number, track the lead source, when you received the file, when did it get closed, what was the closed disposition, borrower callback date, lender callback date. It's kind of a quick way to remind you to, you have a callback set. You can assign employees from here, enter your sale date, what kind of resolution type did you get, date mod received, first trial mod, status, substatus, and of course making notes. A lot of stuff that you can do in that admin tab. A lot of that stuff you saw already in the pipeline, but sometimes you want to work in the pipeline because you want to do some stuff that's really quick. You can do that as well. Billing and commissions. This lets you track all your different fees that you may be collecting and different phases that you collect it, and you can set up the dates and the reminders when the money's owed, and you can notify the agent, the borrower, or maybe you have somebody in accounting that you want to specialize in to do the follow-up on billing, and you can track all that and send SMS text notification as well. So it makes it very easy to collect your money, which is obviously really important. So you can have different fees. The fee types, we have a lot of them already built in. So you can just check off which ones are applicable in your settings, and then that would remove in the live environment when you're working the ones that don't make sense. You don't need to see stuff in here that doesn't make sense. So make sure you know that you can remove those. You can store your checking or credit card information, and this stuff populates on the retainer agreement when you're trying to get invoices signed or packages sent back signed. Commissions, you can track who you owe money to, and I know that could be happening in different phases for different parties, so that's something you can track as well. And that's it. We just covered every single tab inside the client file. The next thing I want to show you guys is I went to the branch list, and I want to show you how you can integrate the web forms into your website. So on the bottom of the profile, you'll notice that we give you access to HTML iframe codes. You may need a little help from a web a webmaster guy, or we can also, if you give us access to your site, we can upload this for you. But you take this code and you install it on your website, and it will display a web form. So, for example, here's a website. You click on the link that says apply for a short sale, and you'll notice that it's got a nice little lead capture form. This is basically hosted on our domain, but you can't really tell because it's on your own website, and then this can get posted into the software on the back end. Here's another example. Like here's a website. You click here. It's all framed up inside of the website, and then clients can come in here. Even agents can use this. Alex the realtor can come in here and fill this out, or maybe somebody who's not even an agent with you. They can click on add new agent, and then they would add themselves to become an agent with you guys and submit a new file to you guys. So imagine having this on your website is really critical for growth and to accept files 24/7. Okay? That's how the iframe works with the web submission forms. Okay? Additionally, we have what's called private label logins, and this works for a client, for lenders and servicers, your back office personnel, your branches, and your agents. They all can have their own login through your own website, and we can create a nice little portal like this to make it more private label to your entity. Okay? We can also just tie it in as a link up here, and that also works as well. Alright, so last thing I didn't hit is the calendar tool. So all the tasks that you create on a file will show up in your calendar view, and of course your task list. Let me get that opened as well. But in this example, you can see everything's color coded. So all the blue ones are tasks, all the pink ones are sale dates, green ones are billing related, and you can see when you mouse over it, you can see what they owe, when they owe it, and then things that are pink, which you don't have in this example, is people that have a billing reminder date scheduled. So it really helps you keep track of everything that you want to manage. If you just want to look at certain ones, just task related or sale date related, you can just narrow that down as well. So like if I do sale date, then it's only going to give me the sale dates, which it makes it easier on the eyes. And then when you mouse over them, you get more information. You can open the file as well to start doing the work on the file. So that is the calendar view, and then you also have a task list view. And this kind of just lets you do a nice date range selection, or select it by agent, employee, or maybe by client, or any type of keyword that you're looking for. It gives you more in-depth analysis on all the tasks. You can also generate an Excel report. So if you want to export something, maybe all your past due tasks for a particular employee, you can do that as well. And that's really important. And you can always change the status from here. You can make notes or comments on the task. So it's very interactive. Okay, another type of report is the billing reports. Now, when you are updating a file, let me go over here and go to the billing and commissions section. This is where you'll be manually entering in what money is owed, what phase they owe it in, what type of fee it is, and you can set up the date owed. When they do pay it, make sure you mark off when they paid it, how much they paid, payment type, and any notes that are involved in that. Okay? And what happens is when you go to the billing report, I want to look at all my receivables, and I want to see if I want to do only amount due, I could do that, but I want to see everything. So it's giving me a list of all the clients that I have that have information entered. Again, if I want to sort by who is out there that owes money only, then you can do it like that. And then of course you can generate a summary report, a detailed one, and just a quick overview. And then you can also do date range between created date and select the date owed range as well. Okay? So that is how you manage your billing receivables. Commissions is the same thing. You usually owe money to an agent, to a branch, or an employee, and that's entered in the system. Then you can just track who you owe money to and when, and obviously it helps you generate that report in Excel as well.